Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my March TBR featuring my TBR jar. So I did just want to go over a few things from last month and a few of the rules because we're kind of making this up as we go. So any of the prompts that I read last month and completed will not be going in the jar this month. They will be skipping a month and then going in next month. So the prompts that I picked and read the books from for February will not be returned to the jar until April. But any of the prompts that I had books for that I did not read in February, those prompts will be going back in the jar for March for an opportunity to be chosen again. So with that being said, in February I rolled for 11 books, and so out of those 11 books there will be 4 prompts going back in the jar. So the prompts that I had were a book with blue on the cover, which I read and completed, a title with 4 or more words, which I read and completed, a sapphic romance, which I read and completed, a book with food on the cover, which I read, a paranormal romance, which I read, a book with 500 or more pages, which I read, and a book with red on the cover, which I did read. That then leaves the 4 that are going back in the jar. So we have a young adult book, which I did not read, a fantasy book that I did not read, a book with pink on the cover that I did not read, and a book with black letters on the cover, which I did not read. So I am going to fold each of these back up and put them in the jar. Okay, so those are now back in the jar. So they are just kind of on top, but I'm gonna try and like kind of mix things up a little bit in there as we go. So we do need to figure out how many books I'm gonna be reading this month. So for this month, I'm going to be rolling a 12-sided die, and whatever number I roll is the number of prompts I will pick out of my TBR jar and attempt to read this next month. So I'm going to be rolling a 12-sided die, and if it is anything under 5, I will roll again. I'm gonna throw up a screen recording of the die roll and let's roll. Okay, so I got 7, which is a pretty good number. So I'm gonna be picking 7 prompts this go round. So fingers crossed that we get some good ones. So like I said in the previous video, none of the colors mean anything. They're just random colors from just like pieces of paper that I had. So this is roll number 1. Okay, and this is a book with a cartoon cover, so that is a pretty easy one. So for a book with a cartoon cover, I'm going to be reading Just My Type by Fallon Ballard, and this is the newest release from Fallon Ballard. I read Lease on Love last year and absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorite books of the year last year, and it definitely does not get enough hype. So I'm super excited to read this, and hopefully I like it just as much as I liked Lease on Love. Okay, so for number 2, we'll go this one. Okay, so this one is green on the cover. So let me see if I can find a book with green on the cover. Okay, so for green on the cover, I'm going to go with The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This is a mystery thriller, and I'm not exactly sure what this is about, but I have been trying to get into the mystery thriller genre more, and so I thought I'd pick my book of the month to be a mystery thriller, and so this was the one that I chose. And yeah, so I have no idea what this is about, but it has green on the cover and I'm excited to see if I like this or not. Okay, so for pick number 3, we're gonna go this one. Oh, I got 2, so we're just gonna throw this one back in there. Okay, so number 3, from an author you love. From an author you love. So for this pick, I'm going to be reading Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. And I have only read 1 book by Lucy Score, but I absolutely loved it. So I just know that I'm gonna love this too, because Lucy Score's writing is just so good to me and I just absolutely love it. So I'm super excited to read this. This is her newest release and I've been waiting on this for like 6 months now, so I'm so excited to pick this up and hopefully read it this month. Okay, pick number 4 we got going on. Pick number 4. Let's see. Okay, I think this might be one from the last time, just the way that it's folded like that. But yeah, so we got book with black letters on the cover. And for this one, I am going to pick the same book that I picked last month, and that was The Bully by Sophie Lark. So I didn't get a chance to get to it this month, but fingers crossed that I can get to it in March. Okay, so pick number 5. Let's see. Oh, purple one. We haven't gotten a purple one yet. Okay, so pick number 5 is, okay, we got another cartoon cover. We're gonna be doing 2 cartoon covers this month. Okay, so for this cartoon cover, I'm gonna go with The Reunion by Kayla Olson. And this is one of the books that I had on my TBR last month, but I didn't get a chance to get to it, but I have been wanting to read this, so I will hopefully get to it in March. All right, so we're on pick number 6 now. Okay, this is like, because I want to get like in close to the bottom, so we're gonna go this one. Okay, so we got mystery thriller for this one, and like I said, I've been trying to get into mystery thrillers more, so maybe March is the month of mystery thrillers for me. And so with that being said, I'm going to be reading Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier, and this is a mystery thriller. I again don't know what this is about, but I've heard that it's very, very good. So I'm super excited to read this one, and hopefully I will get to it in March. Okay, and so now for pick number 7, we're gonna go this one. Oh, there's 2 of them. We'll go this one. And this one is published in birthday month. So my birthday is in August. So I'm going to look for a book that was published in August. So give me just a minute while I look for a book that was published in August. Okay, so this one was actually pretty hard to find based off of the books that I own already. But so for this one, I'm going to be going with The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I have not read this book, but I've heard very mixed things about it. I've heard people either like really love it or they really don't like it. So I'm interested to see what my thoughts are on it. So yeah, hopefully I can get to this one in March. All right, so I know I did 7 picks, but I'm just gonna do another one just for funsies. So this will be our 8th and final pick. Okay, so this one is a small town romance. Okay, so I have definitely been into small town romances recently, so I'm gonna go to KU for this one to see if I can find a small town romance that I've been wanting to read. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to be reading Make Me Yours by Melanie Harlow. This is the 2nd book in the Bellamy Creek series, and I recently read Drive Me Wild and really enjoyed it, so I am planning on continuing on with the series, so I'm super excited to get to this one. All right, so that is all for my TBR. I feel like I have a pretty good selection of books. I have 8 picks, even though I rolled 7, but you know, hey, even numbers and whatnot. So I'm just going to go over them again. So we had one published in my birthday month, which was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Next, we had a mystery thriller, which is Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. Next, we have a cartoon cover, which is The Reunion by Kayla Olson. We then had an author you love, which is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. Then we got one with green on the cover, and that's The Riding Retreat by Julia Bart. Then we have another cartoon cover, and we got Just My Type by Fallon Ballard. And then we got black letters on the cover, which is going to be The Bully by Sophie Lark, and A Small Town Romance, which is Make Me Yours by Melanie Harlow. So pretty good selection, if I do say so myself. So my book stack obviously isn't as large as the one from last month, but I would say that this is a pretty good selection of books. So I'm super excited for this upcoming reading month, and fingers crossed that I can get to everything. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I will have all of my social medias linked down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.